Romanov, what? What are you talking about?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be discussing historic families that suffered from generations of tragedy, loss, and heartbreak.
Jack Kennedy is a man who doesn't cry, who rarely shows emotions, but that day, Jack Kennedy breaks down.
The Nepalese royal family. According to legend, the first king of Nepal, Prithvi Narayan Saha, brought a curse upon his bloodline when he refused an offering of food from a holy man.
Shah offered the man a bowl of curd to show his respect. The old man drank it all and then regurgitated it back into the bowl. He asked Shah to drink it to show his devotion. Repulsed, Shah dashed the bowl to the ground.
That holy man was said to be Baba Gorakhnath, an immortal yogi with supernatural powers. The offended Gorakhnath told the king his dynasty would end after 10 generations.
Throughout its history, the curse has overshadowed the House of Shah. But would it really come true?
The 10th king of Nepal, Birendra Saha, was killed in a brutal massacre carried out by his son, the Crown Prince Dipendra. 10 members of the family were killed, allegedly over the family forbidding Dipendra to be with the daughter of a rival family.
Never in the history, even in our mythology, in the Hindu mythology, it's common for kings to kill other kings. But the father being killed by the son, the fratricide and the regicide that took place, and the matricide, was unusual and unprecedented in anybody's history.
The Guinness family. Arthur Guinness made a name for himself when he established his famous brewery in the mid-18th century, but it seems his good fortune ended there. Rumors of a Guinness family curse began after multiple generations of Guinnesses appear to be plagued with tragedy.
It's coming for Katie! Send it away! But it's not within my powers, man. Once it's sent out, it can never return empty.
Out of Arthur's 21 children, 11 died before reaching adulthood. His grandchildren were said to suffer from alcohol use disorder. And his great-great-grandson, the politician Lord Moyne, was assassinated in Cairo in 1944.
Indeed, his assassination remains a defining moment in the chronicles of British engagement in the Middle East, and, as we'll see, the first of many eerie moments associated with the oft-called Guinness family curse.
In 1966, Una Guinness lost her son in an infamous car accident. Lady Henrietta Guinness took her own life in 1978. And across the extended family tree, there can be found a litany of tragedies over the years. The Guinness misfortunes have continued, with several other Guinness descendants losing their lives in tragic accidents persisting into the 2020s.
My grandfather had this, your grandfather had that, and we just happened to draw the short end of the stick.
The House of Grimaldi.
A seemingly supernatural force would inflict the pain and suffering promised in these prophetic words. Never will a Grimaldi find true happiness in marriage.
The ultra-luxe microstate of Monaco has been ruled by the Grimaldi family since 1297, but for much of their reign, the family has been rumored to be cursed. As the story goes, in the 14th century, Prince Rainier I kidnapped a woman who turned out to be a witch. The witch cursed the Grimaldi family to suffer from eternal unhappiness in marriage.
Rainier cruelly laughed this off and abandoned the supposed witch at the site without a backward glance. Little did he know, while his name would live on with the monarchs of Monaco for 700 years, he was condemning his descendants to lifetimes of misery.
Since the alleged curse, several generations appear to have been plagued by divorce, infidelity, and tragedy. The wife of Prince Louis I had several affairs before she left him to become the mistress of King Louis XIV of France. And Prince Rainier III married Grace Kelly, who died aged 52 after a tragic car accident. Family curse, or just endless bad luck?
How does one separate that? There's always the right to know, yes, the news that's fit to print, but then there's the morbid curiosity.
The Wadiyar royal family. The legend of the Mysore curse states that in 1612, when the Wadiyar royal family captured Queen Alamelama of the Vijayanagar Empire, she put a curse upon the family before taking her own life.
It translates to something like, let Talakad be filled with sand, let Malingi be a whirlpool, and let Mysore rulers be childless.
Remarkably, the curse came true. The old city of Talakad was buried in sand. The river became a whirlpool, and male heirs were only produced every other generation. It wasn't until 2017, when the current ruler and his wife welcomed a healthy baby son, that it was believed the curse had been ended.
All of these points sort of created a convenient history as well. So you can say those things as well, but there's the irrational side of it where it actually, there is a pattern as well. So there is a side we cannot explain, but my rational points, I think, should go ahead. And
the Von Erich family.
Ever since I was a child, people said my family was cursed. We never talked about it. And I don't know if my brothers and I believed it back then, but bad things kept happening.
The 2023 film The Iron Claw depicted a dramatized version of a very real chain of tragic events that came to be known as the Von Erich curse. Patriarch Fritz von Erich, whose real name was Jack Atkinson, built one of the most famous professional wrestling dynasties in the history of the sport. But he lost 5 of his 6 sons before his own death in 1997.
Every one of the Von Erich boys wanted to be just like Dad. Nothing could separate them until death came along.
His eldest, Jack Jr., drowned at just 6 years old. David died of enteritis, age 25, and Mike, Chris, and Carrie all took their own lives. Only Kevin survived, and his 2 sons would continue their family legacy by becoming professional wrestlers as well.
Family was important to him, and a lot of the wrestlers, they picked their career over the family, and you see that affect them later on in life. And now family is important, and now the fact that we can do a family business together, and it really is, I couldn't have wrote it out any better.
The House of Borgia.
What rules this family, Mother?
Love.
Ambition. Ambition rules this family. My father's, my brother's, and I will have to add to that, my own, if I don't want to live in a garden of weeds.
This Spanish family was incredibly powerful during the Renaissance, producing 2 popes in 2 generations. The Borgias also made some powerful enemies at this time, who alleged their rise to power had been achieved through corruption, scandal, and betrayal.
The idea offends you?
It offends me, it offends nature, it offends God himself.
So God will take his revenge then?
Yes, he will. With our help.
Rodrigo Borgia, later Pope Alexander VI, murdered one of his political opponents and kept many mistresses. His illegitimate son, Cesare, was suspected of murdering his sister Lucrezia's lover and his own brother, Giovanni.
You are in pain, brother. I can feel it.
Yes, I am in pain.
You would end your pain.
Yes. And I would end yours.
Lucrezia herself was accused of several poisonings. While murder for political gain was not uncommon in this era, some recent historians have alleged that the Borgias' bad reputation was primarily rumors spread by their prominent enemies. The House of Stuart. The Stuart family was marked by death, infertility, and rebellion from the beheading of Mary, Queen of Scots in 1587. Mary's grandson, Charles I, was beheaded as well after a devastating civil war broke out in England.
From the parliamentary point of view, yes, I think he probably did have to die for the pacification of the kingdom. From his point of view, he had to die for the preservation of the monarchy.
Though his son, Charles II, was a popular king, he was unable to produce any legitimate heirs. His death led to a crisis of succession when his illegitimate son, the Duke of Monmouth, sparked a bloody uprising against his uncle James II, who had taken the throne. Monmouth was then, you guessed it, beheaded.
James had easily overcome what had only ever been a revolt of enthusiastic amateurs.
But James II was so unpopular that he was removed during the Glorious Revolution, replaced by William and Mary. The Stuart reign ended with Queen Anne, who died in 1714 and produced no heirs.
I lost some 17 children. Some were born as blood, some without breath, and some were with me for a very brief time.
The Romanov family.
Matushka, why are you afraid?
Why am I what?
I think you're frightened.
Grigory Rasputin was a mystic and faith healer who earned the favor of Tsar Nicholas II and Tsarina Alexandra when he appeared to be able to ease the pains of their son Alexei, who suffered from hemophilia. Though the royal family liked and trusted Rasputin, other members of the imperial court conspired against him. Knowing this, Rasputin sent a letter to Nicholas containing a dire warning.
If I'm killed by the nobles, that will mean the end of you and your dynasty, and none in your family will live more than 2 years.
Nicholas's cousin, Grand Duke Dmitry Pavlovich, led the group of assassins responsible for Rasputin's death in 1916. Within months, Russian revolutionaries forced Nicholas to abdicate the throne. Following a period of house arrest, the Bolsheviks murdered the Romanov imperial family in July of 1918.
Rasputin's prophecy of doom was absolutely correct. He was killed by aristocrats, and after that, less than 2 years, Tsar was gone, and his family was gone.
The Kennedy family.
The Kennedy family really represented America on the rise, an immigrant country where anybody could get ahead if they were smart enough, if they were ambitious enough. People would look at the Kennedy and they would see the American dream.
One of the most famous families in American history is also said to have suffered from one of the most infamous family curses. The first incident occurred in 1944, when pilot Joe Kennedy Jr. died in an aircraft explosion. His sister Kathleen died just a few years later in a plane crash.
There is woven through the Kennedys a sense of doom, and by the late 40s, only Jack remains of the Golden Trio.
Before John F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, he had lost 2 children in infancy. It's said that his wife Jackie even brought the curse with her when she remarried, as the Onassis family also experienced similar losses. Other deaths include Robert F. Kennedy's assassination, JFK Jr. and Carol Bassett Kennedy's death in a plane crash, and a trail of other accidents, heartbreaking incidents, and sudden losses continuing up to more recent times.
Sadly, the Kennedy family is all too familiar with tragedy. This year marking the 20-year anniversary of that deadly plane crash that took the lives of JFK Jr., his wife, and sister-in-law. As for the investigation here, authorities still looking into the exact circumstances surrounding Saoirse's death.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The House of Habsburg, one of the most prominent and powerful royal families in history, the Habsburgs met their fair share of suffering during their centuries-long reign.
Mich so zu sehen, das freut dich jetzt. Ich dachte es kurz. Aber nein.
One alleged Habsburg curse states that the family slighted a flock of supernatural ravens called Turnfalken, which began haunting the family. It was said that whenever misfortune was coming for the Habsburgs, ravens would appear, including at the beheading of Marie Antoinette.
At that moment, which must be an incredible moment of panic, she still reflects perfect form. She climbed the stairs to the guillotine very lightly, without a pause. A sort of natural heroism.
The family was also known for its rampant inbreeding, which resulted in physical deformities, and likely contributed to the high mortality rate of Habsburg children. Finally, it was the death of a Habsburg, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, that set off World War I, one of the bloodiest conflicts in European history.
It was a terrorist group, the Black Hand, that killed the Archduke. But by blaming the Serbian government, not the terrorists, Austrian hardliners saw a chance to take care of troublemaking Serbia once and for all. Things quickly spiraled out of control.
Do you think these historical bloodlines were really cursed, or were they just unfortunate coincidences? Let us know in the comments.